Remember, you said no to student debt relief. You said no to Medicare expansion. You said no to child care support. No to food programs, to early education. You said no to fucking Sesame Street. But when your pocketbook starts hurting, you say yes to bailouts. Yes.
I hope you're ready. I'm about to perform a public disservice.
Do you remember a few years back, during Trump's first term, he thought he was going to outsmart China? The guy who went bankrupt selling steaks and casino vacations thought he'd win a trade war with the world's largest buyer of American agriculture. Brilliant. So he started this tariff on Chinese goods, and China hit back. Suddenly, U.S. soy exports tanked. We're talking now silos full of unsold crops, farms on the edge of foreclosure, and a bunch of MAGA farmers realizing that America first apparently means Chinese customers gone. And it resulted in a bailout. $28 billion. Luckily, he learned his lesson that time and promised he would never take dramatic economic action again without first consulting with experts and advisors. And I'm joking, of course, he did the exact same fucking thing again. I know, we discussed this a few episodes ago, but I thought now would be a good time to bring it up again because there are a lot of you that didn't see the first episode, but more so for those of you that did see the first episode and replied with, "That never happened. No, you're wrong, libtard. I'll take things that never happened for 800, Alex." Well, great. Here it is happening right before your fucking eyes. Those same farmers are demanding help. In this case, 10 to 14 billion. A bailout to clean up this mess again. You can't make this shit up. The same crowd that spent years shouting, "No socialism!" is now bragging for socialism with extra sprinkles. They mocked student loan relief. They voted against universal health care. They sneered at children in early education programs, but when their soybeans start rotting in the fields, suddenly that government money sounds pretty patriotic, doesn't it? Well, they don't call it socialism, of course. They call it a relief package for American farmers. Translation, socialism, but make it rural and put a stupid red hat on it. Well, golly, I don't believe in government handouts, but I'll take one if it's there. Yeah, you'll take one if it's there, just like every college grad, nurse, single mom that you called lazy for asking for help. Yeah. What's the kicker? I'll tell you the kicker. The bailout money they're begging for, it comes from the tariff revenue. The same tariffs that caused the fucking disaster in the first place. Economist Ben Aguilar nailed it. Quote, "It's not even robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's robbing Peter to pay fucking Peter." I added the colorful euphemism. But think about this. The government taxed the shit out of imports, jacking up farmers' costs on fertilizers, material, equipment, tanked their exports to China, and now is using that same tariff money to patch the holes they blew in the economy. Exports to China cratered. In some of these last months, U.S. shipments to our biggest customer were practically zero. A Missouri farmer told Fox Business, "You can't take our number one customer, shut them off, and just overnight find a replacement." Well, no shit, Kimosabi. Global markets don't just pivot because you feel strong on Twitter. Meanwhile, Department of Agriculture, they estimate farmers are going to lose on average $100 per acre this year on soybeans because of the weak demand. In Minnesota and Iowa, some are actually paying to store their harvest, hoping maybe they'll find a buyer somewhere sometime. Don't you worry. Trump's got a plan. He says he'll use tariff money to help farmers, quote, "until the tariffs kick into their benefit." Fuck me. Because nothing says long-term strategy like burning your house down and then promising the insurance check will come before winter. And what makes it even funnier, or sadder, funnier, the bailout, it's stuck. The USDA, the emergency fund, it's called the Commodity Credit Corporation, it's pretty much empty. Well, they need congressional approval to restock it, but the government's shut down because of Trump and his budget mismanagement. So the farmers, 70% of whom voted for Trump, the farmers who backed the shutdown crowd are now screaming because the shutdown is delaying their checks. Is that irony, or is that poetic justice on a tractor? I'm getting mad here, but honestly, look, I really do feel for farmers. They work insane hours. They have to deal with the weather and fluctuating markets and now trade wars started by a guy who thinks tariffs are free money. But here's the deal, farmers. You don't get to vote for a clown and then cry when he burns your fucking barn down. Remember, you said no to student debt relief. You said no to Medicare expansion. You said no to childcare support. No to food programs, to early education. You said no to fucking Sesame Street. But when your pocketbook starts hurting, you say yes to bailouts, yes to subsidies, and yes to socialism, as long as it's wrapped in a flag and branded MAGA. So, yeah. This message brought to you by the Soy Farmers for Trump, where we hate socialism except when it saves our dumb ass. I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. I'll support the farm bailout on one condition. Every farmer who takes a check has to go on camera and say, this is my fault, I voted for the fuckhead who tanked my market, and I'm sorry. And then we'll call it even. Until then, enjoy your taxpayer-funded socialism, boys. You earned it, one fucking red hat at a time. Like, share, subscribe, do all that shit.
Now the silos are bursting, the prices hit the floor. Got a warehouse full of beans and a notice on the door. Cause we voted for the clown and the barn caught fire. We hollered no socialism till our wallets looked dire. We called it lazy when the neighbor needed aid, but a 28 billion bailout, why that's trade war brigade. Yeah, they